Hello everybody, welcome to the Angry and Ornery Show. We're very happy that you've tuned in, and we enjoy seeing people in our studio audience. Let me remind you that this show is taped every 2 weeks on Wednesday nights at approximately 10 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. That's 7 o'clock Pacific for you Second Lifers. And if you're interested in Second Life, all you got to do is go to their website, secondlife.com, log in, create an avatar, and contact me, Zoltan Mint, and I can get you here to the studio, and you can be a part of this hilarity. Also, we stream live while taping on Hitbox. That information will be here at the bottom of the screen in post-production. You can watch the show in the comfort of your own home on Hitbox for free. Finally, of course, you can catch us on YouTube, where we have a channel. The channel is called the Angry and Ornery channel, and we highly encourage you to join that channel because all members receive free cars that Lionheart buys them. You never know when you're going to get your free car. Okay, that was a lie. Come on out, Lionheart. But seriously, go to youtube.com and look for the Angry and Ornery, and you can see all of our old episodes, including the current one, which will appear after Wednesday, generally about Friday, sometimes even Thursday, if Mr. Florian, our wonderful cameraman, gives me the tape early enough. Anyways, how are you, sir?
I am Ducky. How are you, sir?
Ducky, is that better than Peachy or less than Peachy?
Well, it depends on how you look at it. It could be Ducky that I'm great, or I'm doing foul.
Ah, I'm guessing foul because of your demeanor.
I'm doing fine. I'm just
Are you?
just fan. Yeah. Just gave away 10 new cars on the YouTube channel.
Nice.
Yeah.
Are you drunk?
Nope.
Oh, good. Well,
And
then
so-
why don't we have a seat, because we got a interesting show. I think a very interesting show tonight.
If you think so.
Well, I've been wrong in the past, but
many times.
many times. That's correct. Well, we don't have a guest tonight, but before you click off that button on YouTube, I want to tell you that we're going to cover ComicCon, or at least most of the ComicCon trailers that have been legally and illegally flooding out of that convention in San Diego, and talk about briefly what's coming up at the end of the summer and in the fall season, both TV and movies. And I gotta say, of course I say this every year, I'm fairly excited about the prospects. Hopefully, they're not all duds, and we're disappointed, and we have to do a show about horrible shows that came out in the year, but it looks like there's going to be some pretty cool stuff. So we thought we would inform you on what we think is going to be the best and the things that you should probably look forward to. Agreed, Lionheart?
Yes, but the only thing is you and I will probably not agree on a single thing.
Probably not, but that's what makes us angry and ornery, right?
Correct.
I couldn't get any more angry at your orneriness, by the way.
Okay, and I can't get any more ornery about your angriness.
There we go. So if you're wondering who's who, keep trying to guess. All right, well, let us top this off. I know you have a kind of more specific movies to talk about, but I just want to talk briefly about the trailers. And I'll start the show off with what I think was probably the most significant trailer to come out of Comic-Con this year. And by the way, we are talking 2015. And that is Batman.
It's 2015? Oh my God, where have I been? Okay, I'm sorry.
The trailer is for Batman vs. Superman. Do you know the subtitle to that, by the way? There is one.
The Dawn of Justice.
That's it, right. So I saw the small trailer that was out before Comic-Con, and it piqued my interest a little bit. But then when this longer one came out, I was, I'm sold. And I know you don't like DC and or the Batman Superman thing.
We'll get into that. Go on.
Right. But I have. I grew up on Batman and Superman. I read more Batman comics than I think Superman comics, but I've always liked the various renditions of that. Specifically The Dark Knight, which this movie is looking a lot like. Return of the Dark Knight. But here's a couple of points that I just want to point out about the trailer itself that I enjoyed. There was 2, maybe 3 scenes that I thought were fantastic, and I would pay the price to go see the movie just for these scenes. The first one, well, actually it came near the end of the trailer, is when Superman climbs up on top of the Batmobile, rips it open with his bare hands, and Batman stands up, and they square off eye to eye. I just thought that was symbolic and cool. As a fanboy and a grown man with a 12-year-old mind, I thought that was really super cool. The second thing let me finish and then you can go.
No,
okay?
I'm just saying.
Right. The second thing I liked was Wonder Woman. She shows up briefly in this trailer a couple of times, and she's very, very hot. They dress her in a very, very hot outfit, and I like the dynamics because, as most of you know, Superman and Wonder Woman have a thing, right? So how Batman gets involved in that in between, that could go anywhere. So it could be like the Dark Knight situation, or it could be something brand new. I don't know. But anyways, I like the actress. I think she's perfect. For the first time, they've got a really good Wonder Woman. And I'm sorry I don't have her name at my fingertips, but you fanboys know it anyways. So overall, I thought it looks exciting. It looks darker than any other previous show. It looks grittier. And I do kind of like them addressing that the public are a bunch of idiots and they think Superman is a threat more than a hero. And that's what causes Batman to react. So, go.
I have a couple problems with this, and my thing is yes, I am a huge DC comic fanboy. I have not liked any movie except for the Chris Nolan Batmans. Everything else DC tries to attempt to put out is crap, except for their animated line. Now, I have so many problems with this movie, it's not funny. The first thing is it was, showing Lawrence Fishburne and Amy Adams and, all the characters from the first Superman movie, from Man of Steel. Lawrence Fishburne and Amy Adams both said that they spent less than a day on the set, and they did maybe 4 hours of shoot time. So it's almost cameos. And the way it plays it up is it's a Superman movie. My other problem is I freaking hate Ben Affleck with a passion. I know you're going to argue with me on this.
No, I am going to argue with that because that is my third point, and I saved my third point waiting for you to say just
Here's
that.
the thing. I don't mind him.
Explain to me why you hate Ben Affleck.
I think he's wrong for this role. I really do. I think
so did I. So did everybody.
Right, and just because there's a trailer and it looks good is not making me sold on it. I'm sorry.
Right. How about this? The trailer doesn't make the movie look good. The trailer makes Ben Affleck look good. If you watch that trailer, dude, I gotta tell you, I think he looked terrific in this trailer as Batman, or as Bruce Wayne. And Bruce Wayne, he is absolutely perfect.
Here's my other problem. I know a lot about this movie going into it because I've been doing a lot of research on it. My first problem is they're changing major storylines. We're not talking one or two things. We're talking, yes, you are correct. This is almost Return of the Dark Knight era Batman. He hasn't been Batman for 15 years.
Right.
In this movie.
Right.
And I have a problem with that. The other thing is major characters are dead. Jim Gordon is dead. He's not going to be appearing in the series. The way they had Alfred looking almost like a mechanic, I don't know. I had a lot of problems with it. I really did.
Well, here's the thing I noticed about Affleck. I mean, as far as physical appearance goes, which is basically what we can gain from this trailer, he kind of got that George Clooney look. They grayed his hair. The makeup made him look a little older. He bulked out like you wouldn't believe. The dude doesn't even look like himself again, and he plays this really gritty, moody, and that's exactly what Batman or Bruce Wayne should be.
Do you think this movie would have been made and would have been good 10 years ago with the cast that it has now if it wasn't for the Avengers? And that's what they're trying to pull. And I'm sorry, they're throwing in Aquaman, who's everybody's most hated character. And they're throwing in Wonder Woman on top of all this.
Remember, back 20, 30 years ago, it was all about Marvel. I'm sorry, DC. It was about DC.
Yeah.
DC had Superman. DC had the Batman movies. They were
Right.
campy. They were silly, but they were lighthearted hero romps. The heroes were clearly defined. The bad guys were clearly defined. Then along comes Marvel in their X-Men and Iron Man ways, where these heroes are
Dark and gritty, like it should.
Dark and emo and sad and confused and what have you. And the crowd has turned to liking that kind of thing. So what does DC do? Well, they decide to hop on the gritty bus. But you got to remember, DC had gritty comics. Their graphic novels, most of which came out long before Marvel, were very gritty and dark type of things. So the Dark Knight is basically being turned into this movie.
Here's my other problem with the thing is, you're wanting to set it 15 years after Batman has hung up his cape and cowl, but yet in the trailer...
Not the first time that's been done.
Right, but in the trailer... it shows his freaking origin story. It shows him as a young boy and mom and dad getting shot.
You know what? I agree with you on that, and I think that those scenes, which has been probably filmed 322 times now.
Yeah.
How many times we got to see Bruce Wayne's parents die? But I think that's good. The clip you saw, I think, is about the length of it in the movie. I think it's a 12-second clip.
Here's the thing. I think it's going to be more than that, because if you caught it, that was Harry Dean Morgan, the guy who played the comedian in Watchmen. So they're not going to get a big name actor to play a 2-second role. So obviously there's going to be fallback and have more flashback.
I'm not sure. I don't know how long it. I will agree with you that if that movie spends more than a minute on his parents dying, then I will be sorely disappointed. But remember, this is kind of a Superman movie, so they're bringing Batman in almost as a extra character. So we've already seen, Superman's origin. Maybe if this is a retelling, it's necessary. I don't agree, but it's going to happen. Whether it's long or short, I don't know. But all right, listen, we spent too long on that.
Yeah, let's move. What's your next one you got here, Sparky?
Walking Dead.
Which one?
The new season, the old Walking Dead had a
classic.
I think the classic Walking Dead. We have to say that because there's a new Walking Dead show coming out, but we'll talk about that in a second. The Walking Dead's what season was it? 6th, 7th season? I don't even know what season they're on anymore. It's like one of my favorite shows in the world, and I don't know what season they're on. Anyways, they had an extended clip. I think it was around 5 minutes long, maybe a little shorter. And OMG, right?
I refuse to watch it. I'm not going to watch it.
I'm not going to give you any spoilers because I think indeed this trailer had spoilers. You specifically see one, maybe two main characters being ate alive by zombies. But I will say this. The fans have always said that they love the drama. They think the characterizations is great. The mood in the setting without the horror and the zombies is beautiful. But it's a zombie show, and we want more zombies. We want more zombies, say the fans. I think that the producers and the director and the writers gave the fans exactly that. More freaking zombies. When I said OMG, I'm talking about the miles and miles of zombies that are in this season. Almost every few second clip had a zombie fighting, eating, running, chasing, doing something horrible. And at one point, they showed a scene where there was a road that led up to the current town they're in, that, what's it called? Whatever, that safe zone. Yeah, right. It's been almost a year. But anyways, that was at least 200, 300,000 zombies descending upon them. So, I think this season they're going to get away probably from the drama and more into the bloodbath that a zombie show is known for. So be prepared. It's going to be gross, it's going to be heinous, and a lot of characters are going to die. If that's not dark... Heinous. If that's not dark, then I don't know what is. Your opinion?
I refuse to watch the new trailer just because one of the cast members spoiled something about 3 months back in a tweet, and it irritated me badly. So I'm trying to stay away from any scenes or anything and just stay in my little cubicle world instead of watching anything for Walking Dead.
Well,
I've
you know
watched
that
stuff
Walking
for the
Dead
new
is...
one, but nothing for the new one. Or
Right,
for the new season plus.
Right, The Walking Dead is in my top 3 favorite shows of all time. I've got high hopes for it. I pull for it, and I'm probably going to see nothing but good in it because I'm jaded. But there's a chance that they can overdo it, and I hope they don't overdo it. I hope they do keep the story interesting because, like a lot of critics have said, the show is watchable without zombies. That would be an interesting show if there was no zombies because of the quality writing and acting in it. But we'll see. They've got a lot of stiff competition with other horror shows, including their own self, which we're now segueing into, called...
Good segue. Fear the Walking Dead.
Fear the Walking Dead, right. Fear the Walking Dead also made its trailer debut at ComicCon. And I did watch the extended trailer. There's a small couple of snippets out there, and then there's this long one. And the long one...
Yeah.
The long one is almost like a webisode. It's almost like it has a beginning, a middle, and an end, and it's kind of it's a few days before the apocalypse begins, and then it's during the apocalypse, and then very fast clips of after the apocalypse, and this looks a whole lot like what is it? 7 days later? 7 weeks later?
28 days later. 7.
Wait, there's way too many zombie shows. But actually, they're technically not zombies in that movie, right?
Right, they're infected people.
Right. Anyways, it looks a lot like that. It kind of looks like the comedy Shaun of the Dead. No, Shaun of the Dead, because it's like people aren't aware that people are turning into zombies.
Right.
And then they're like treating them special, like they can be fixed or cured. And then all of a sudden, it just hell breaks out. So this must be a much bigger budget than the one filmed in Atlanta or in Georgia, wherever they film it, and which is in Georgia. I understand that, but I mean, I don't know if I don't think they're necessarily filming in Atlanta now. But anyways, this is all L.A., right?
Yeah, it's all West Coast. Yeah,
I also heard that it won't be segmented in just L.A. That it's going to be travel all over the world. That you're going to see things in France and Germany and Australia and stuff like that too. So it could be very, very cool if that's true.
Yeah, I mean, I think what they could do here is something very interesting, and I'm gonna mention something that you hate. I think they should take the American Horror Story route with this series, with this Fear the Walking Dead, because I think it would be awesome if they did. First season, have it be LA. Second season, have it be New York. Third season, have it be Canada. Wherever.
Well,
France, like you said.
You're testing the audience's attention span. I think if a show that's heavily edited with a lot of short clips of various locations, it jumps just as something gets exciting in LA, it jumps to France. I think that's going to be far more appealing to the younger set who are used to the MTV 6-second edited cuts, if you follow me.
Right.
But
MTV
we'll see. I really don't know too much because it's under top secret, other than this trailer that leaked. So, anyways, let's move on, right? Because we're running out of time. We can briefly talk about Ash versus the Evil Dead, and the reason why I said briefly is because that's going to air on Starz, and I really fear that because I don't have Starz, and I don't know a single person that does.
I know a lot about the Starz Network, and I know a lot about their programming that they did. They did a series called Magic City not too long ago.
Right.
They are R-rated. It's like an equivalent of an HBO or Showtime. It's very popular out here. So you're not going to get edited anything. You're talking, it's going to be a full episode. The odd thing is, and I don't know if you know this, the episodes are only a half hour.
Right, and what I saw on this trailer out of content, it is hilarious and a bloodfest.
Yeah, they're going with classic Evil Dead 2, I guess you could say.
Right.
I know that they're going to follow the storyline of the Evil Dead films. They're going to hint and talk about Army of Darkness, but not actually go down that road.
Do you think Ash is going to time travel?
You know what? I don't know. I don't know. I think it's going to depend upon how well this series does. And because the comics are still going strong in the comics, Ash is going all over the place into different worlds and stuff. So
right.
It's going to be very, very interesting. I think it's going to be hilarious. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I think if you're a fan of Bruce Campbell and the series, I think you're going to have a serious Woody for the film. But they're already talking about finally doing a fourth Evil Dead film if the series is popular. Bruce Campbell? So, with Bruce. Yeah, him and Raimi have wanted to do one for years. It's just that time, availability, and everything else. Because you got to remember, Campbell's been tied up for the past 6 years, if not longer, because Burn Notice. Burn Notice.
Oh, Burn Notice. That's right.
Yeah, and other things.
That's horrible.
And Raimi was tied up with Spider-Man and everything else, and other things, right. And then Oz Green and Powerful. But I think it's going to be hilarious. And the funny thing is did you catch who was in the trailer? They brought in Lucy Lawless.
There's a good-looking cast, including 2 or 3 very fine-looking females.
Lucy Lawless is in it, which I find funny because that goes back to...
Lucy Lawless is in everything. He's in everything.
Well, no, it goes back to, you got to remember, Raimi's the one who gave Lucy Lawless her start with Xena, and Bruce Campbell was in the Xena television series. He was the thief. He was the king thief that appeared a lot in Hercules and in Xena. So I find it funny that those two are going to be on the screen together again. They had good chemistry.
They tend to all stick together. All right, well, hopefully it comes out on DVD because that's when I'll watch it. But let's move on to another movie that leaked out of ComicCon called Suicide Squad, shall we? Wow, you're really against this. And by the way, if you're wondering about why there's so many superhero movies we're talking about, or superhero TV shows, because this is Comic-Con. Of course they're going to nerds. Those kind of things. And we're big nerds. So I never really paid attention to Suicide Squad, the comic book, or did anything, I wasn't a follower of it. It just looked like something that was riding on the coattails of bigger comic books, so I stayed away from it. But I saw the trailer. I liked what I saw, even though it's another one of these dark, depressing, murderous type of anti-superhero parties. What's your take on it?
I saw the trailer, and at first, when I heard the whole Will Smith thing and everything, I groaned. I groaned.
Me too. I'm not a fan of Will Smith, as you know.
I know a lot about Suicide Squad. There has been, Warner Brothers has put out a Suicide Squad cartoon not too long ago, for adults, obviously.
Yeah, this is rated R. This is not a kid show.
Yeah, and I dug it. I liked it a lot. And I started watching the trailer, and I was very hesitant, and I'm like, this looks good. They've got a good Amanda Waller, and a lot of the main characters.
The cast is wonderful. I think the cast is perfect.
Except
Will Smith.
One thing. No, I have no problem with Will Smith. He looked the part. He acted the part. He was okay with it. I don't have a problem with Will Smith. My problem was Jared Leto showing up at the end as the Joker, doing this Joker with the cap teeth.
Right, but that's only one part of that. I've seen other clips of him without the teeth and all that. The dude looks good in the Joker makeup. You got to admit, he looks good in the Joker makeup.
He looks good. He's got the look. But he walked in, and it was like me delivering lines. Oh, I'm not going to kill you. I'm just going to hurt you really bad. And it didn't sound like the Joker. I'm sorry. You have to have that craziness in your voice.
You're not going to get Heath Ledger, who was phenomenal, and I'm
not even talking Heath Ledger. I mean, look at, for Pete's sake, Mark Hamill played the Joker in all of the games and all the classic cartoons and everything.
Cartoons, right?
Yeah, you can give a voice. He needed to give a little bit of crazy in that voice. That little even Cesar Romero did it. I mean, come on.
Tell me this. You can actually help me out here. And I know that isn't Harley Quinn in the movie, right?
Yes. Yeah,
Is she the blonde girl with the pigtails and the bat, or is she the Asian girl with the mask?
Nope.
So then why isn't she dressed in Harley Quinn makeup?
Because that was something that they touched upon a little bit. I don't know. She also doesn't sound like Harley, but I'm willing to give that a chance. You
Well, 'cause
know,
she's hot, dude. I mean, let's face it.
well,
I
it's
mean,
the girl. It's the girl from Wolf on Wall Street with
Right.
Leonardo DiCaprio. Who,
That's
good God, if
Olivia can help me here. I think that's Johnny
If-
Depp's girlfriend, or no, it's somebody's
No, no.
girlfriend.
But she, if
Somebody's
you've ever
girlfriend.
seen that film, she's, oh my God, the nudity she does in that film is just, hoy. But
What,
anyways,
in Wolf on Wall Street.
oh yeah, you've never seen that?
Yeah, I've seen it twice. I love that movie.
Yeah, she was the one who's like on the floor, playing with herself.
Yeah. Olivia,
His
do you know
wife.
who she's the wife of? I mean, the girlfriend of. She's somebody's famous girlfriend too. But
Yeah,
anyway.
but anyways, yeah, no,
I think it's going to be a good movie. I think that there's going to be a lot of people that are going to be, not knowing what it's about. So it's going to be brand new, and it's going to be one of the big surprise hits. That's my take on it.
Yeah, I think it's going to be okay. I'm just worried about Leto. That's the only thing I'm worried about. So.
Right. All right. Let's talk about Deadpool, which, if you've seen the trailer, you were watching something fairly illegal, right?
Correct.
But yeah, that was not supposed to be leaked out of ComicCon, but many of the fans there filmed the screen and it got on the internet anyways. I just happened to see it because it was actually posted on Facebook. So apparently before Facebook caught it, I thought it was a legal thing, but you could tell it was pretty grainy. But anyways, here's my take on Deadpool. Exactly like Suicide Squad. Dark, depressing, emo superheroes, right?
Did you ever read Deadpool or know anything about Deadpool?
I read the X-Men a lot, and so I did read when he crossed over into the X-Men and back and forth.
It's going to be a comedy. It's going to be a black comedy, and I think
he talks a mile a minute, and the actor they've cast does a good job at that.
Right.
Ryan
Reynolds.
Ryan Reynolds, right? And he goes, he's got that sardonic, quirky, snarky attitude, right? And you just want to kill him. But
no, I love him.
Well, I know, but he is another anti-hero, is he not?
Technically, he's not. He's a hero. He's like the Punisher. He kills everybody. That's all.
Yeah, he wants to kill Wolverine at one point.
Yeah, he wants to kill everybody at one point, but he gets over.
So I'm looking forward to it. Not that I'm totally against these grungy emo superheroes, but it just looked fun. It looked funny. It looked violent, and it's got a huge R rating. I mean, with
it's going to be very. It's going to be bad. It's very
going to be dirty and dark. So probably nudity. Not a superhero movie you take children to.
No. Well, I would take children to it. But that's just
let's cross over from that to the X-Men Apocalypse, which is now. Was that leaked out illegally, or is there a trailer out for that?
No, there's no trailer.
Yeah, so I did see it. It's our job, okay? We're industry experts, right, Lionheart?
Yes, that is our job.
Anyways, not completely thrilled about this. It looks kind of cool. I mean, I know where they're going with it, but it just it's got the prequel cast again, at least what I can see. Right. I don't know if they're going to have any of the Patrick Stewart cast.
No, they said no. They are not in the film.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which I don't mind because I mean those guys are getting old. Don't forget, and dying. Don't forget. If this can keep the franchise going, then whatever. I don't mind the two actors that are playing Magneto. I
am in love. I am in love with Michael Fassbender. I am in love with that man.
Right.
I will say it here on camera. That man is awesome. The gentleman who plays Magneto, he's freaking awesome. Yeah, but
and they kind of look like each other, kind of in a scary, weird way. But what else do you know about it? What can you say about it?
I do know that they're doing some recasting, that they brought in younger versions of Jean Grey and Cyclops and all those characters. This is Michael Fassbender's and James McAvoy's last contracted film.
I heard it's Hugh Jackman's last Wolverine appearance.
No, he has 3 coming up. He's going to be appearing in this. He's going to be appearing.
I mean, as an X-Men movie, it's his last X-Men movie as Wolverine?
Technically, it is his last X-Men movie. He's going to be in X-Men Apocalypse. He's going to be in Deadpool. And then he's doing the 3rd Wolverine film,
right,
which they just announced is going to be Old Logan, which is basically the end of the Wolverine storyline.
Right,
so,
right.
But,
which is good. I'm glad.
McAvoy and Fassbender and I can't think of her name right now. The one who plays Mystique, Jennifer Lawrence, who's
Lawrence is new in it, and she's back.
Right. They've all said that they're willing to sign on for more contracts. That they're enjoying doing it. So
that's because they're money machines. They're young. They're good looking. Making tons of money. They're making fat stacks, yo.
Yeah. So I got no problem with them continuing on.
All right, so let's talk about Ant-Man, also big at the con. Yeah, I know you have trepidations and probably won't even go see it. Is that correct?
I have a big prediction about it, but go ahead and kick us off.
Well, Paul Rudd, right?
Yeah, hate the man.
You and I have talked about this before. I don't hate him. I had no opinion about him until I saw him come on the Tonight Show several times, actually, and be interviewed. And the guy is a fun-loving, interesting family man who is really funny. I mean, he could be a stand-up comic funny. And he's very personable, and he won me over. I liked him a lot. So he has now been put into one of the dopiest superhero roles that a leading actor can play. And he knows it, and he's making fun of it. You gotta love somebody that's making fun of himself and a superhero in a major blockbuster movie to be released soon.
Yeah. The whole Ant-Man thing, I was never an Ant-Man fan.
Me neither.
But my problem is if you're going to do Ant-Man, don't do the second guy who became Ant-Man. That'd be like doing, son of Batman or,
the Michael
something
Douglas
like
character?
that. Yeah, they could have done Hank Pym, the real Ant-Man, instead of having it be the Paul Rudd character who's the second Ant-Man in the comic books.
I agree.
I don't understand it, and I know that there's a lot of footage where they're going to be showing flashbacks for young Michael Douglas.
I think so,
and it's
too.
Like, why do that when you could have just made that film?
Right,
and the other thing is your only main character, big name actor in the film, other than Michael Douglas and Paul Rudd, it's relatively a cast of nobodies.
It is, yeah.
And I
did see some of this. This movie is going to be sold on the special effects. I mean, when you take
it's going to be a kids movie. It's going to be kids.
It is, and he admitted that his children can watch this. So the first movie that his kids can watch. But I think that the special effects looked average B average. Certainly not their best game. They've shrunk people down before in settings, and it looked terrific. I'm not talking about Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, which didn't look terrific, but there has been other times when that's occurred. Now, I've seen some scenes that look actually really good. There's a scene where he shrinks down in a shower, and that looked really good. But then there was other scenes that I'm like, oh my god, that looked like CGI graphics. It was so hokey. It wasn't even believable. So I'm a little worried about the quality of this film, but I think it will still, make its budget back.
I think what's going to happen is, my prediction is, I think it's going to technically be Marvel's first flop. And what I mean by that is opening weekend, it might be number 1. It might make a lot of money. But it's not going to be Captain America, Thor, Avengers, something like that, where 2-3 weeks go by and that film is still number 1. I have a feeling it's going to be number 1 on its first weekend, but come the next weekend, it's going to drop to like 3 or 4. It's going to peter out and just go away. So.
You'll love this segue. I think Marvel's big flop is going to be another ComicCon release from Marvel called The Fantastic Four.
Yeah, I agree.
And the reason why is the movie looks good, the trailer looks good, the cast looks good, but it's just was done 5, 6, 7, 8 years ago. I mean, when
not even
when
that. Yeah.
Jessica. Oh, they did 2 of them,
about
right?
5 years ago. Yeah.
And it's too soon to do an Origins, and people are confused, and they're all scratching their heads saying, "Why? couldn't they have just made a non-origin movie? Like a third movie and just replace the actors? I think I would have bought that way more. I mean, I just don't understand why that movie had to be made. There's too many other movies that can be made from Marvel.
Right. And here's my problem, and everybody is screaming at me because I'm saying it. I was actually called a racist the other day for saying this, and I don't think it's racist. I don't like it when you screw with characters. When you take a character and make them another race, or you take a male character and make them female, you take a white character and you make them African American, or you take an African American character and make them white. I don't think that's right. I don't think it should be done.
Well,
and I have problems.
That speaks to me that you're a traditionalist, and unfortunately a lot of racists are traditionalists. So you could be clumped into that category.
You know what,
I do understand. Like, I don't necessarily want to see, a female being a Bond character.
Right,
and there was some talk about that, and it's not because I'm a sexist. I'm sure there's and I'm not 100% on board with the new Ghostbusters having an all-female cast. No. I just had this argument the other day with a Ghostbusting fanatic, and it's not that I don't think that a female can be good in these roles. It's just I'm used to seeing that as a male role, and it's going to be different. Distracting to me, and I may miss the story because of it. That's all I'm saying.
Right. Getting back to Fantastic Four.
Sorry, I went off on.
I know. They're changing the origin story again. They're making it very complicated. You're not getting the Doctor Doom that everybody wants. It's just I don't know. I have a lot of problems with.
We're already going to get a lot of hate mail for these opinions, so let's move on. We're almost out of time. Heroes, the new TV show, looks good. I'm going to record it. I'm going to watch it. Interesting new cast with some of the old cast. What do you think?
I'm going to watch it. It's only going to be 13 episodes. They said old storylines will eventually be tied up from left off where the series ended. It looks interesting. I'll give it a shot. Like I said, it's only 13 episodes.
The movie Man from U.N.C.L.E., what do you think?
I'm a huge fan of the original series. This new trailer, the one that they had not too long ago, I liked it. I like when they keep it in the right era. And I think that's what's going to work for this. And it looked sexy. I think a good word was sexy. It looks sexy.
It could be sexy. Now, is there any other trailers we missed, or any other things coming out that we should know about in the last couple minutes we have?
Speaking in Marvel world, next week I'll do my review on Daredevil, but they've already started filming Season 2, falling into the Marvel categories of Daredevil, and they're moving ahead big time with all those, so there's going to be a lot more series coming out from Marvel that will eventually tie to the movie
Netflix
universe.
Releases, we're talking.
Netflix, love them.
Right.
But
they're doing a good job.
And since we're doing ComicCon stuff, this is one of those things that kind of petered out, kind of small and slow. Season 3 of Sleepy Hollow's coming up. It airs September 18th or something like that, 15th. They just announced that Nikki Reed from Twilight has joined the cast, and she's going to be playing. I just told you this before the show, and I forgot her name. The young lady who made the American flag, Betsy Ross. She's going to be playing a hot version of Betsy Ross, who's going to
I saw that.
a recurring character. So that's going to be interesting. Maybe a love interest for Ichabod. Who knows?
Yep. Anyways, so those are all things to at least be aware of. If you can catch most of those trailers on YouTube, and look for them later this year. It's going to be a busy end of the year if you're a fanboy. Just the return of so many shows and so many new shows, and then of course a lot of movies too. So keep watching us, the Angry and Ornery Show. I think we should stand up here.
We got to stand.
I do my magic walking through the desk. Mwah.
Hey, didn't we have a bet about that where you said you were going to come out from my side and see if you can go through the tables? And
yeah, we're going to have to do that soon.
We're going to do that next episode.
All right. By the way, I watched a competing television show recently called, I forget the name of the TV show. Yeah, there's plenty out there. But anyways, they had Ebby Linden on as a guest. Ebby Linden, the CEO of Linden Labs. So I just want to say, Ebby, if you watch this in any form or fashion that we presented to you, we want you as a guest. Don't worry about these 2-hour-long talking head shows that you're being guests on. Get on here, and we'll really get down to the brass tacks. We'll really ask you the questions. The ones you're afraid of. So don't be afraid, Ebby Linden. No,
she's afraid.
It's a guy, dude.
He's afraid. Oh, okay, whatever.
Yeah, he was on Dr. Phil. So Ebby, don't be scared of us. Get on the show. We'll interview you, and you'll have a great time, and we'll drink beer afterwards.
And Dr. Phil isn't even a real doctor, so.
Right. Well, we're not real people. We're avatars.
Well, yeah, but don't you have a PhD?
I'm scared. Yeah, but we don't talk about that. Anyways, say goodnight, Lionheart.
Good night, Lionheart.
Catch the show on Hitbox every other week. Catch it on YouTube in a couple of days. And it has been a pleasure, ladies and gentlemen. We will see you all later in the movies. Good night.
Good night.